What's up guys, RussLyman here, and welcome to this DIY video where I show you how to make a Jason NES cosplay. Coming up.
Russ, what you doing? Russ, what you doing? Russ, what you doing? Let's find out.
Alright guys, well first things first, you're going to need to head to Amazon so you can pick up the mechanic jumpsuit that I purchased. Now I got it in white because they didn't sell it in purple. They had some other colors on there as well. So I went with the white one so we can get some fabric dye. And I used RIT fabric dye. I ordered 2 bottles just in case, but I only ended up using one of the full bottles. I dumped the whole bottle in when I was dyeing the suit. You want to pick up a white cotton t-shirt, or if you already have one, you don't have to purchase it, so you can use the purple dye when you're dyeing the jumpsuit. This way they match. And I also picked up one of these ski hoods. I got it in purple, but now thinking ahead, I probably also should have gotten the white one so I could dye them all together to get more of a uniform purple. So now when I wear this, it's a little bit darker than the suit. So grab the white one if you're doing it now. Then the process of dyeing it, it's best to use a stainless steel sink, because if you have porcelain, this dye is going to dye the sink that color. I was lucky enough to be able to go to my job and use their sink there. It was a nice big sink, so I had lots of room because this jumpsuit takes up a lot of room. And according to the directions, you're supposed to add 3 gallons of water per pound of clothing. And you're supposed to have almost boiling water, really hot water to help this work. The hose that we use at work is hooked up to our dishwasher, so it sprays very hot water, so that worked out for me. But again, if you're doing this at home, you're gonna have to put some of the water maybe on the stove in a pot and almost bring it to a boil and pour it into your container. If you have some type of big container that you can put the clothes in, this way you don't have to use the sink, you can do that. Now the cotton shirt ended up dyeing a lot faster than the jumpsuit itself. Fortunately, I didn't get any footage of me actually dyeing the jumpsuit, but I did bring along a dress shirt and some other items to work to see how well they dyed, and the process is just the same. You're basically gonna fill it up with water and add a little bit of dish soap and mix that around. Then add your dye. Again, I added the full bottle, this way I could get it the darkest color. And just mix that around, and when you're mixing in the clothes, you're just basically gonna be rotating them and swirling them around so you get an even dye. This way you don't have any dark spots or splotches in the clothing itself. Now it was recommended to do this 30 to 40 minutes. The longer it's in there, the more the dye is gonna hold and the darker it's gonna be. But like I said, the t-shirt probably dyed in a quick 5 minutes and it was already good to go. I kept adding a little bit of hot water, just way the bath was nice and warm while I was mixing. And you're just gonna wanna make sure to rinse out all the dye once you're done. You could strain it out and run it under some nice cold water until the water runs clear. And as you can see, here's the end result of the jumpsuit. It's more of a lighter purple, but it still works very well. The one thing that didn't dye was this strip right here where the zipper is. It stayed somewhat white, so I had to go back with some acrylic paint, and I used that. I painted it on both sides. This way it's not as noticeable in case the buttons pop open, you don't have a white spot. Now on to the other items like the mask and gloves, painting them and everything. I did purchase the mask as well on Amazon. You guys can check your local Halloween store and see if they have them there. But some of the stores that I went to, the Jason masks were just kind of weird looking. And this one had the exact look, and I do like that these pop off. So you can pull off the little straps there so you can paint it and then put it back on so you don't have to worry about masking these off. So I ended up going to Pep Boys. They sell Plasti Dip there, and this happened to be a perfect color for the NES Jason palette. Cost $12.99 a can. I ended up getting 2 cans because the boots soaked up a lot of the Plasti Dip to get it into that color, because it kind of had that waterproofing on the boot itself. You can head over to your local Goodwill or Savers and check the shoe section for some boots there. Just get some used boots. I found this pair for $12.99 and they'll definitely do the trick. As for weapons, I also headed over to Party City in the, a Halloween store would work just as well. And I picked up this machete. It was a chrome machete, and I think it was only $4. And then they had the axe as well. And again, I just used the Plasti Dip to do the handles. I kept this handle black, but basically preparation for the machete is I wet sand it with 400 or 500 grit sandpaper to get that aluminum finish off of it, and this way the Plasti Dip would have something to bite to. So once that was all sanded, I was just a couple coats of the Plasti Dip, and then I also added a clear coat at the end to kind of seal everything in. So this is the end result of the machete. And with the axe, I pulled off the head here. It just separates and comes off. And I did a little bit of weathering on this and added some scratches and a little bit of paint to kind of give it a more realistic look, so to say, or add some depth to it. And same process with the handle. I wet sand it with 400 to 500 grit, Plasti Dip, maybe 4 or 5 coats, and then a clear coat over that. Boom, ready to go. I picked up the gloves at Harbor Freight. It's just some cheap $3 pair that had kind of like a rubber coating. And I covered them in the Plasti Dip. The only thing is the backs here are more of a cloth type fabric and it didn't stick to that. So I basically just end up wearing them on the opposite hands. So this way the more blue part is on your front facing. So when you're holding weapons and everything, you see more of that rather than this section. It's more prominent with that. You can also use some surgical gloves if you didn't want to pick up these here. The Plasti Dip's holding up somewhat, but it's peeling on some of the parts of the gloves because I used it so much in the making of my short film with Jason in it. So you might have to recoat them after Halloween. And then it all comes together with Jason's hockey mask. Again, same thing, I popped off all the straps on the mask and then wet sanded the whole mask with 400 or 500 grit sandpaper. Once that was dry, I hit it with 4 to 5 coats of the Plasti Dip, let that dry, and then I went back with some acrylic paint and painted in the little triangle markings on the mask. And that dried, I hit it again with clear coat. I love using this Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear. It puts a great finish, nice gloss on it, and protects it. So I did about 3 coats of that, 10 minutes in between each coat, and it just came out awesome. Another option you could do, and I'm still looking around to see, they have those masks that you wear where it's a piece of black fabric and you can see out but no one can see in, and it might be cool to put that on the inside of the Jason mask so you can't see your eyes at all on the actor. It's just blacked out, and that would look really cool. I just haven't located one. I was checking at Savers. They have a lot of like used costumes and stuff like that. I figured maybe someone brought in a mask that they didn't use and I could just cut that fabric out, but I had no luck yet. So once I do find it, I'll probably add that to this. And as you can see in some awesome B-roll shots of this, it came out awesome. When you put it all together and you're walking around, it looks so realistic and just like in the game. That purple suit with the weird blue colors. I don't know why Nintendo chose that. I do have the little pop vinyl NES version of Jason here with the same colors, and he has his little machete. Although his machete is gray with blood on this one. But really cool. Now I also have NECA put out an actual release of the Jason mask in the Nintendo game. It's more of a lighter blue and it's made out of ceramic. Looks really cool though. There's a side-by-side comparison. You can see the different shades of blue. And again, this is a ceramic. And the strap's a little bit different. I can almost use this same strap because it has the rivets that pop off there, but So if you ended up having this mask and you wanted to match the gloves and stuff like that, you're gonna have to find paint that's the same as that. But I'm a little worried about wearing this out because it is that ceramic, and I happen to take it off and it falls, it's gonna break, and that's not gonna be good. With this one, it's plastic. It was like $8. I don't have to worry about breaking it, and it even looks cool on display. I do have the NECA Jason figure that they put out, and you can almost use this as inspiration. His boots, gloves, and mask are more of a clear color rather than that blue. And his axe, the head, is the clear part, as well as I think the machete was the clear. And you can see on the back of this, when he doesn't have his mask, it has the Jason kind of deformed face. And I've seen other cosplayers use that. I don't know where they got the mask itself of Jason without the hockey mask, and they painted that purple, and you can wear that and then put your hockey mask over it. That would be the alternative to wearing this. You know, this is cheaper. It covers your ears and head so you don't see anything like that. But if you had the full deformed Jason mask, then you just need to paint it purple. And again, I would probably use a purple plasti dip or something like that. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this DIY cosplay and it gave you some inspiration and motivation maybe to make your own. Maybe other cosplays in the future I'm thinking of doing, possibly a NES Batman in that purple color. That would be really cool. A little more involved with the parts and stuff, but it's basically based off the Tim Burton Batman. Or maybe even doing a NES Freddy Krueger. Basically, again, it's just a palette swap of Freddy being an orange color with a lighter orange and coloring all the other parts of him. But let me know in the comments down below suggested cosplays you might want to see me do. I really enjoy making these videos, so give me a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. And as always, gamers, I'm RussLyman, and I'll see you next video. And I want to give a special shout out to all my Patreon supporters: Joey Ellis, George Sandoval, Joe Sheevy, David Apuzzo, Maynard, Dr. Pest, Nintendo, Brian Culpepper, and everyone on my Patreon page. Your constant support is greatly appreciated. Hit the link down below if you want to join.